Join me today as we take a look at Conan Battle of the Blackstone. This comes from one place and one place only. You can pre-order it right now, so before we get into it, you should do that. If you like this thing at any point during this video and you want to order one for yourself, you got to do it now because it comes out in December or January, depending on things. But you can get it at heroicsignatures.com. And if you want the Deluxe Edition, it's the only place to get it. So let's take a look at this Conan action figure and find out if this gorgeous artwork on the outside is going to give us a preview of the gorgeous artwork on the inside. And you know what? You can see images in advance because the internet exists. So I'm going to say, yes, it does. Let's slide it out and see. It's a tight sleeve, but I do appreciate a sleeve because not only now do we have this standalone art piece that's double-sided, but it's collector friendly packaging. And that means that if you are an inbox collector, well, there you go. Cool. I want to thank Heroic Signatures for sending this thing over to me so that you all get a preview of what this thing's going to be like if you pre-order one now. Preview of a pre-order? That's crazy how words work. On the back of it, it gives you a little bio of this beefy boy from the inside, and it tells you all about the stuff that's on the inside. So things with stuff, cool. I'm happy to have things with stuff. Side of the box, you got some more artwork, epic poses. So the only thing left to do now is to remove the tape from the side, which looks like it may have been pre-opened. And then slide him out of this packaging. Everything is just on a slide out. You got any hidden features in here? No, I can't throw this box. I'm sorry. Looking at the goodies, oh my god, the detail of the paintwork alone already has me overwhelmed with joy. Okay, I know a little bit about Conan, but what in the world is this? What? Huh? I don't know. Pretty sure this is just like the bonus part of the exclusive set. And I'll put the characters' names on the screen as we look at each of these items, and then we'll get into Conan and all of his glory, okay? That's what we're here for, I know, but you still get this, so why wouldn't we look at it? It would be crazy if I just kind of push this to the side. Up first, we have a sword. A rapier, I believe, is this type of sword. And you know what? Looks pretty fantastic, I gotta say. I gotta admit, I really like the details, not only through the handle and the hilt and stuff, but look at the weathering through here, the chipped up parts of the blade. If I were to use a word to describe this piece, I would say exquisite. Up next is another beautiful sword. Look at these details, my goodness. I am really a fan of this stuff. I mean, these are gonna be great accessories for really any of your 6-inch or 1/12 scale figures. Let's take a look at that pistol because this belongs to a guy named Conrad, not to be confused with Conan. These are different folks. This one is maybe the most simplified thing, but I'm also, you know, I mean, look at how tiny it is and how far into the camera I put it. Now, it's a little soft, which is interesting. I mean, that's not a good or bad thing, per se, I guess, but it exists. Then we have this spear, which, you know what? This just reminds me of the spear from the Savage Land set from Rogue and Shanna, or whatever her stinking name is. But this isn't that. This is something else. And I put the name on the screen because I already forgot what I read on the internet. But the details here are good. Nice wood, nice feathers. There's like a little bit of gradient paint happening here. I dig it. And then the coolest thing in this set is this staff. And why is it so cool? Well, because it's got a daggone cat head on it, on top of it. Look at that. Now, for those of you that know what this guy is and what he's from, you can probably let me know how accurate it is, because I have no clue. But I like what's happening here. This looks like it would come apart or twist, but it do not. So we are done with that, so let's talk about these accessories for Conan. Ooh, feet! Oh boy. This is a masterpiece. A masterpiece of sculpt and paint, and I am very excited to get into it because there could be some issues, potentially, I don't know. Hopefully not. I mean, everything has some sort of issue, depending on your perspective, I suppose. And there's no shortage of Conan figures out there in the world right now that you can order, pre-order, have ordered, and own. But today we're talking about this one, Heroic Signatures, which, again, stunning. So it's possible we'll have some problems, but we won't know until we look at it, so I'm gonna shut up and just get into it. This dude is very tanned. He's in the sun a lot. Maybe get a little bit of sunscreen, buddy. You're gonna have some serious issues as you get older. There's toe articulation. That seems to help him stand out. Push him over to the side and zoom in so we can take a look at all these goodies, because up first we have this stunning axe, just like the other weapons. Great battle damage, great paint work in there. This is really well done. Very curious who the sculptors and folks are behind this thing, and if I remember, and if I have to say it right now in the video, then I have to remember. If I can look up to see who was involved in sculpting this. Anyway, that's awesome. And then we have an alternate axe which has authentic battle damage, recent battle damage from the bloody bits of somebody. This looks very well executed. Again, I mean, this is just a fantastic thing. I am very much a fan, and I'm not just saying that because they sent this to me. If you've watched the channel before, you know that I will dunk on something even if a company is like, will you talk about our stuff? And I'm like, you sure? This time, I'm happy so far. Of course, any of that could change because that's how things work in a review. Let's go through, let's look at the sword with its, is this a sheath or a scabbard? We got a little notch there which tells us that we can hook it onto his waistband, but the details it's all about that like subtle like etch work into the sculpt to look like it's been used a lot, but also that paint that really just kind of gets down in there. If there was like a real brass handle or whatever, it would get that nastiness into the what am I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, how it always has that. Well, they have it. You also get an alternate garb piece for his upper half. So this is this is early game, okay? If we're talking role-playing game, this feels a little loose. I'm a little worried about that. Look at that. But we'll see. This is like you started the game out. You have like the poor man's shirt that's just like giving you +2 defense, and then later on you get this. After you've defeated a couple enemies, you picked up a new top which gives you +10 defense, which is nice, but obviously later on there should be some better options. So got a couple snaps here on the side, which means this is going to be a very simple slip over application, but these little nubby things might be a pain, especially when the body's in there and you're trying to snap them. We'll find out. I'm just saying, historically that kind of stuff is tough, but this really does look like tattered like fabric. What's this kind of fabric that I'm thinking of? Canvasy kind of fabrics, whatever. Looks cool. Then we have this alternate headpiece which has the horns and the draped piece across the hair, but again, the paintwork, it's like whoever is involved with this painting of this thing is an absolute master craftsman of paint, because this really, everything looks like it should. Like the dirtiness of the bones versus the helmet and then the fur. Really, really well done. We have an alternate head in the box, and look at those beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. Now, you can notice that his head's kind of flopping around there. I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but the idea is that like you can swap this face out with the one that's over there and then over here. So we have nice range of looks. I just am a little concerned how loose. Oh, see, it's tight now. So I don't know. Not 100%. I guess if you get it in there good enough, well, I don't know. Face looks great. I feel like there could have been a little bit more paint, but this is also trying to be accurate to his first appearance or whatever in the comics. So I'm sure this is accurate to that. There's still a good amount going on in there, even if it is just a little bit of shading in the cheeks and stuff. The eyes look great. Hair's very simple, but it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. On by default, he's got this angry face, which I don't know if that little bit of muck on his cheek, yeah, it just came off. So it wasn't supposed to be there because now it's not anymore. So piercing blue eyes, a little less intense this time, but still looking fantastic. His mouth has a little bit more pain in there. It looks like he's got punched in the face, and he's got some like, you know, when in the movies and stuff where they're like a little bloody in the teeth and the lips. Kind of looks like what's happening here. I'm sure it's panel specific or cover specific. Again, we can remove this entire section. Now it looks like his IQ dropped substantially. Let's look at this helmet piece. Again, great paint work across the like boned pieces and in this stunning metalwork, like the little dimples and stuff where it's just like hammered to be a thing. Looks awesome. So maybe let's remove this hair piece. I think that the head is definitely going to be limited by the hair for articulation's sake, and we can kind of see that right now by just like, I mean, this is already becoming a problem, but the fact is it's hitting his shoulders. But we'll find out, okay? We'll find out, man. Come on. So we have a lot of stuff happening here. I didn't even realize this one has the stubble across his face, which is very well executed. We have this bone necklace piece going down. We got the tattered clothing. Let's put his head back together because he's freaking me out a little bit. The muscle work, wow. Now, interesting joints. I think there's some other companies that kind of do this, but the elbow, sculpt-wise, that looks gorgeous. The problem is going to potentially be when we do this. And no, still actually works really well. I was afraid that this elbow would like poke down, but I mean, just a tad bit, but I think that's working really well. And it gives it a more than 90-degree range of articulation. So that's quite impressive for this bulky guy, realistic. Sometimes you lose that. Now, he does have a little bit of a hump in the arm there. I think most people are going to have him in some sort of like battle stance, and it's going to look fantastic in that way. Biggest concern right now really is the looseness of this shoulder joint. This side, not so bad. But details all the way through. The paintwork is stellar as expected based on all the other bits and pieces. I love the like weathered parts of the tattered clothing. All of this is done really well. I wonder if this could have benefited from a soft goods or like a faux thing. But sometimes when you scale stuff down to this size, fur just kind of looks off because it's obviously you can only scale it down so much. So maybe plastic goods is the best way to do it. And he doesn't have any soft goods, period. So I guess that would kind of throw the cohesiveness of this thing off a little bit. But I am really impressed with this thing. Now, these kind of seem like some older style joints, but I think they're going to do exactly what they need to do. Yeah, they still look decent. I don't have any qualms. Is that the right word here for the joints? I think everything is finding this good balance of looking stellar, still giving us a good, decent amount of range, and then on top of that, something. Other words. He does have the toe articulation again, which is great. I mean, not a lot of companies do that, especially with figures like this. It seems like they just kind of stop at the ankles. Now, let's look at the articulation because we still have some other stuff to look at. So he can look down quite a bit. Again, I think if he had different hair, he could look up even further potentially. Can't really go side to side because of the hair, but I think he can force some of it to happen. Of course, the butterfly joints. So let's see what these loose boys are all about. Looks great as extended, so you don't get the like kind of generic plastic underneath. You still have a fully painted and sculpted figure underneath. Good range. I think we'll be able to get two hands on a sword, which is cool. Now, even though they go forward, they don't go back at all. There's the hinge points on the front, but I think that's going to be fine. Not much you would do with putting an arm backwards, I guess, huh? Shoulder joints are a little tight, but I think they're also a bit limited. So I think this is as far up as they can go based on the design here. But I mean, am I wrong? Well, both sides have that same limited range, so you can't go up into a T pose. But I don't know that that's going to be the end of the world for a figure like this. Again, this is one of those things that you have to find that balance of like a beautifully articulated, no, beautifully sculpted and painted thing without breaking the sculpt too much. But I think he still has some really, especially with that elbow, it's going to help a lot. Ball joints for the wrists, which is great. So you're going to get whatever direction of a hand you need. So it's just really going to help for sword holding hands. We do have some body articulation. It's just going to be probably limited depending on which clothing piece you put, but he crunches decently for his size. Doesn't lean back too far. He's got some great side to side. Look at that. And then some sort of like ball hinge probably at the waist, which is definitely going to help. Legs go out to perfect splits, which is awesome. Why can't I get the arms to do that? Some rotation there up the upper thigh. Double jointed knees, which we did talk about. Now the boots, I believe, come off since he does have bare feet in the box, which will open up a different level of articulation potentially. But he seems great as he is with those ball hinges for the ankles, and then of course the toe articulation. On by default, he's got these pretty standard, just like kind of open, relaxed hands, which again, I mean, it's all looking real good. So up first, you have some good old-fashioned punchy hands, which are gonna be perfect for horses. You punch those horses right in their stupid faces. Then you got some grippy hands, which are perfect for all of his weapons. You got some more flat, kind of open palmed options, which are gonna be perfect for holding his wig down because his hair keeps falling off. Up next, you have a good old classic Conan the Barbarian or whatever version trigger finger to hold that gun, which is good. And I'm sure there's something, for some reason, that he has that gun. It just obviously, the only versions of Conan I know are from the movies. Then up next, you have his feet. Now, the boots do come off, which obviously we knew that. They're a little tight, so you got to fiddle with them a bit. And then you just kind of twist and push those feet on, and there you go. His skinny little calf muscles. Up next, putting the alternate shirt on is actually pretty simple. You just pop the sides off of the tattered one, and then connect them here on the new one. So you got to remove the head, slide through the left arm, and there you go. Now he looks like he's Conan the horse punching version. Look, this is definitely the biggest issue of the figure so far. It hasn't caused any problems just yet. I don't know that it will, but I just want you to know that. And his little butt cheeks. So let's see how this sword, it actually attaches right here. It's super obvious. Duh. I was like, oh, let's see how this works. Well, it works like this. It's just as easy as it could be. Now, it does seem like a uncomfortable placement, but that's not his fault. That's the way he was drawn, I guess. So you can take whatever weapon you want. I do appreciate when weapons have removable like tips so they can slide it through the hand. We don't have that in this scenario, so we have to work these fingers around this part of any of the weapons, which it looks like it's attached, but it's not. So we just have to really fiddle with it. Now, it is luckily soft enough that I think we can do this. It's just gonna take some serious efforts. Like so. We just wiggle it on in. So there he is, looking all awesome, big and beefy, and you can obviously get two hands on a sword, no problemo. That is what I'm talking about, folks. Look at that.
This is a very sharp blade. I think this will be great to cut off a head.
So look, is this something you should own? Well, that's really up to you, isn't it? It's 75 bucks for the deluxe one. I think it comes with a lot of great items. All the bonus things that are included, all those weapons like the unforgettable pistol. I mean, that is a great set of stuff with small run on production. It's got incredible sculpt and paint. So if you're a Conan fan, this most certainly is something that you should own, or at least consider it. And even though it's listed as a 112 figure, I mean, this dude is gigantic, so you consider something like the Ninja Turtles movie stuff. These guys are huge as figures go. I would say this guy's not necessarily 112, and more like a 6.5 inch, which, I mean, he's probably supposed to be a towering beast of a man, but at that same rate, this is huge. Yeah, he's like 7.25 tall, which is a massive boy, okay? It's like 18 centimeters. So yes, very large, but awesome, and I think they have done an excellent job on this thing, and thank you for sending this thing over so I can enjoy this thing with my eyeballs and my hands. That's the cool thing about having something in real life. I get to enjoy it like this, and you have to use your eyes only, unless you pre-order yours now and then get it in December or January. I think that's fair. Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more stuff get reviewed right here on this channel where you're at currently, then click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.